Welcome to the podcast, Balanced Ish. This is my friend, Julianna Harlow. She owns a graphics printing company. Oh gosh, I'm going to do the introduction of you, of everything that I know about you. And the thing is, I just drew a blank on your company name.
HG Print Marketing.
I'll forget it in 2 minutes. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so everything I know about you so far, introducing you. First, we've known each other for 5 years-ish?
4.
2018? When did you join?
2019.
Is when you joined
right?
BNI?
Yes.
Okay.
Question mark.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, all right, roughly 4 years. Okay. I did a photo shoot for you guys' engagement thing. That was great at a cemetery. Probably one of my favorite shoots, just because of how the theme was, but then also the fact that I don't know, it was really humid. That's actually the immediate thing that I think of. I'm like, oh, that was great. It was also super humid.
Yeah.
But,
and it was like November too.
Well,
but it was like bad. It was very wet, very damp.
I realize that summer is always a few days away where we live. That's been my new thing. You know, like winter's on a Tuesday, and summer's always a few days away.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. That's what it's like living in Ocala. You know, how are the seasons there? Summer's coming. Like tomorrow. Okay, so and I'm gonna butcher it like how I did for Julie as well. Mm-hmm. Huge reptile fan.
Yes.
Like, you have them, and I have a good, healthy fear of them. Yeah.
That's
how many reptiles do you have?
I only have one, actually.
A snake. One
Yep,
snake.
I just have one ball python.
How big?
He's pretty big for a boy. He's probably around 5-ish feet, maybe a little bit more than that. But usually boys sit at around 4 to 5 feet, so he's on the bigger end.
Okay. Also, you're the daughter of Darth Vader.
I am.
Yeah,
I am.
That's also a thing.
That definitely made me
I feel like this
the
is
coolest kid ever. So, oh yeah, your dad's an accountant. Well, mine's Darth Vader. So,
I feel like it's best not to explain that and just let people go like, what are they talking about? And then we just move on.
Yeah.
No, but is your dad in the 501st?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 501st is the roughly kind of sort of charity-ish organization / basically if you guys get asked to go to
children's hospitals, birthday
parades,
parades,
anywhere, basically.
Definitely conventions, for
Conventions,
sure.
Yeah.
It is definitely based in the charity aspect, though.
Right.
So that's a huge part of it.
Yeah. And you guys don't just go get Halloween costumes.
No.
It is
screen accurate. Most of it is, they call them like build days, where you just go sit in someone's garage and you just make a costume out of nothing. Vader, a little bit different. You're paying someone to like custom make it. So
right.
His is like wool and leather and silk and like really nice like materials. I don't even want to say how much money he has spent on that over the year. He's got the 3-part reveal helmet, like the best you could get. Not to flex, but
it's a great flex, by the way. It's like that's I don't know how much I want to tell people about this. I was actually in a documentary back in 2005.
Okay.
Where it was a few kids in my class did this documentary, and it was called 3,000 Pounds of Popcorn. And I think there's one copy of it ever.
Okay.
And so the idea was these two guys, and one of them I didn't get along with. It was one of the people in the world that I didn't get along with so much for whatever reason. But they Revenge of the Sith was coming out, and so they started like, one guy was a huge nerd, like Star Wars nerd, and dressed up and other things. And another guy just like had money and had the equipment, basically. That's pretty much how that worked. The one guy, like, that we built up to going, the whole idea started was we want to send Spock and Captain Kirk to the premiere of Revenge of the Sith in 2005. So I was asked to play Spock.
Yeah.
And another friend of mine played Captain Kirk. And we got to the premiere at 8:00 in the morning that day. We stood in line all day. And it wasn't until like later on at night, me and my friend, we left, and then we got in our costumes and we legit went to go see, Revenge of the Sith in Star Trek. In Star Trek costumes.
How did that go over?
We made the newspaper. Yeah, it was. Yeah, we made the newspaper, and like we were like acting as if like it is an undiscovered thing that we are going. We kind of had like a whole shtick, and I actually like studied. I watched a lot of old Star Trek and tried to get the voice down as best as I could, and I'm not going to do it right now because it's embarrassing.
Actually, very similar story. So
what?
So they have these Star Wars conventions celebration.
Yeah.
And they had a couple in Orlando, and so my dad was Vader, right? And there was a guy there who was dressed up as a Klingon. And it was the end of the day. The Klingon is clearly there just to have fun. And my dad is a Star Trek fan as well. Like we're a dual household.
I mean, most would be.
Right. And so he's talking with this Klingon guy, and they decide to do a photo bit where my dad as Vader kneels to the Klingon.
What?
Which made the Klingons like life, right? That a person dressed as Vader would do this. Everyone else around, though, was like booing. Like they were mad about it. And my dad's just like, whatever, he was able to make somebody's day.
Was your dad like hired to go and be there?
No.
Okay.
He was just dressing up like anybody else was, but just for funsies. And the guy got a photo out of it and made his day. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We're pro, pretty much any sci-fi thing is going to go over
Battlestar
well, right?
Galactica
Like, yeah.
Stargate, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so I feel like there's so much that just was said between both of our stories that I'm like, it's making me actually stutter a little bit. I'm like, there's more there. I'm not going to, but there should.
Like I want to later.
Probably it'll come up. Okay, so you have a store. You were in one location, office. What do you call it? Office, printing shop? Printing shop would be probably
just
the
print
place.
shop.
And then you actually grew enough to where you guys got into another print shop, which would show success.
Yes.
And hence the reason why I asked you to come here, because I don't grow that much.
Yeah.
But you are. And so, what's the early process of your business as it started up? Like, what did that look like? How did you guys get to starting to roughly getting into your first place to getting into your second place?
Yeah. So before we opened HC Print Marketing, my dad and I, my dad is who I run my business with. I don't know if we mentioned that part, but
Darth Vader, you mean?
yes, Darth Vader,
Right.
my father. Yes.
First name Darth, last name Vader.
Yes.
Yeah, he actually changed it. It's like
Legally.
$3,000.
Yeah.
It's like $3,000
Yeah,
to change
it's a
it.
big
into
deal.
that. Yeah.
So we ran the print for the 3 UPS stores in town.
Okay.
So every UPS store is supposed to offer printing. Shipping is going to remain like that. You can't mark up shipping. It just is what it is. So each store can kind of decide how much they want to push print. The guy who owns the 3 UPS stores, best boss ever, by the way, way better than we are. He decided he really wanted to push printing. So he hired us. And we worked there for 4 or 5 years doing the printing there. And he put us in networking groups in BNI. And my dad met our two business partners in his BNI group. And they were like, hey, why work for somebody else when you could work for yourself? You want to open this thing? And we were like, yeah, sure, I guess.
With a little bit of fear.
Like if you think we can, then why not? Because
Right.
I mean, we're both like anxious, like sure kind of people. And so we went to the owner of the UPS store and we were like, listen, you're great and we love you, but we're gonna go
Felicia.
do our own thing. But we want to make sure that like you're taken care of. So like whatever you need. And he was like, well, I don't really want to hire new people. So what if I just like sold you the equipment and the paper and the book of business, like the customer list?
Yeah.
That you can make like monthly payments on, and you don't have to pay me a lump sum.
Right.
Whatever. And we were like, yeah, okay, that
Basically,
sounds
how
good.
can you still
like,
stay friends?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, we did that, and our two business partners had a building together, and so we just moved in with them. And we were using 750 square feet split between 3 rooms to run a full shop.
Yeah.
Which
Now, when you say full
tough.
shop, what's an extent of like like what's like the biggest thing that you would say that you would run or do as a full shop?
We were doing anything from business cards to vehicle wraps at that location.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like
700 square feet business vehicle wraps?
Yeah.
How do you do a vehicle like outside?
Yeah. So we started doing them outside, which wasn't ideal, but like we were mostly just doing like partials, like just little quick kind of things. Because we weren't going to do a full one like outside in the heat and where there's dirt and crap like that. So yeah, but basically like the main press where, you know, it's a digital printer. So anything that's like smaller than a 13 by 19 piece of paper comes off of that.
Okay. And that would go on a whole car?
So that's just like the digital printing. And that was up front by the receptionist.
Okay.
And then in the back room, there was the wide format printer, which is where the vehicle wrap stuff comes out of, and banners and things like that.
But you said 700 square foot location. So like back room is like, hey, right behind me.
Yeah,
Like,
right behind me. And there were multiple pieces of equipment like stacked in front of each other. And we'd have to wheel one out to get the other one. And I mean, it was like we were on top of each other. All of the paper was in our shared office space. Mm-hmm. So it was like, here is my dad's desk and here is me. And then the paper is all behind us and we'd have to truck it up to the front to when we needed to switch things. And I mean, it was like a huge pain in the ass.
It sounds like a dance.
It was. Yeah. I mean, we were on top of each other. If anyone needed to talk to us, it was like, God, please don't. Like, just send an email. I'm begging you. So very quickly, like we needed to bounce.
So the money came in enough to actually quickly grow out of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, we had success at the UPS store, but it's like as soon as you open your own business, when you've been, you know, working somewhere else and you finally go and do your own thing, a lot of people immediately switched to using us. Like people we had known for years who had never ordered anything was suddenly like, well, you're my printer now because we owned it.
Well, because your dad's Darth Vader. And
exactly.
A little bit of mind tricks.
Yeah, they also, everybody loves a father-daughter duo.
They do. You ever been to a father-daughter dance?
They like really eat that up.
Do you ever been to a father-daughter dance?
Yes.
Yeah, I take my daughter and it's so cute.
Yeah. No, everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. So
you should go to next year's
right
father-daughter
now?
dance. Like, just have your dad go as Darth Vader, and you go as, I guess, Princess Leia, or I guess you're the adopted daughter, Julianna.
Yeah, right. I'm just my own thing.
Yeah.
So we got a lot more business just right off the bat.
I mean, I'll even be honest and say, like, I don't know your dad too much, but your family seems like a very fun family. So you guys are...
Fun is a word.
I mean, it's... I don't know. It's very comforting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys aren't like...
Well, the thing that we've always said and we continue to say is that we are not salespeople. Like, I wouldn't be able to sell you something if you put like a gun to my head. But if you like me, you're gonna do business with me.
Right.
I mean, that's just like what it is.
Yeah.
And so our whole thing has always just been like building relationships and being nice to people. And that goes a long way. Like
that's me.
Yeah.
That's all I do. I'm not a salesperson. The thing is, I hate salespeople. Like if I go somewhere and somebody sells me something and I didn't want that thing all of a sudden, I have regret and I'm like, this is a horrible feeling. I don't want to ever do this to somebody.
Yeah, no, it's awful. The worst, honestly, I think the worst kinds are the like printer salespeople, like the people who sell the actual machines.
Okay.
Are just like the they make my skin crawl. They're like so like skeevy.
We got a machine for you. Here's the thing.
It's like,
not only do you want this, this is necessary in your life, and I promise we can get you in this.
And it's like, sir, have you ever printed a thing a day in your life? No, they have not.
No, but
it's they're just car salesmen, basically. It's ooh, no, awful.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know, it's fun. There was talks of doing like cold calling and like really going out and like trying to get people, and we were like, no, we're not gonna do that. Like, we're just gonna stick with what we've got going on, and that's fine.
It's pretty much how I work.
Yeah.
So how much advertising do you like online? How much advertising do you do yourselves? It's all
Nothing.
word of mouth.
Yeah, we don't pay for anything.
Besides BNI.
Yeah, besides BNI.
Being present
and we're
in
we're in MC4, which is like a healthcare one.
Okay.
We'll occasionally show up to a CEP thing if we're not like dead tired.
Okay.
So I mean, we go to a few things, and then he has his BNI, I have mine. At one point, we had my mom in one. Like we had BNI like locked down, and when we do that predominantly, we post regularly on social media, but just ourselves. And really, we're top 3 on Google
in Ocala.
Yeah, and we haven't paid at all.
Right.
And that's just
you didn't go to Searchalytics or those people there or anything like that?
Nope, we didn't pay for any Google ads or anything like that. And I'm not saying that that's going to work for every single person. I think some people you absolutely do have to like do the ad work.
I have had a few jobs came in recently where I got a random phone calls and they're like, "Yeah, I'm from Tampa. I'm having a house in the Villages. I just saw you on Google." I'm like, "Oh, cool, it's working."
Yeah.
But it's not. It's worth it. I was about to quote Missy Elliott. It's worth it if you work it.
No, that's real. No, that's real.
Yeah. I think I could do more, but I don't. But that's so funny that you guys are just like, we just show up and we're just nice to people.
Yeah.
And people just know to call us.
Because we have a physical product that we like hand to someone, we made little stickers that are like, leave us a Google review if you had a good experience. And you just scan the QR code and it takes you right there. Yeah. So we have the most reviews, last time I checked, out of all of the shops in town.
Okay.
And I really think that's what did it, was like the more Google reviews you have, like that really helps push you up. Yeah. So now it's like, before we got like on the Google thing, we were saying that about 60% of our business came from BNI.
Okay.
And then the other 40% was just like word of mouth or, whatever. And then now with the Google thing, it's like every other call, because we always ask, where'd you come from? Every other call is Google. Yeah. I saw you on Google. Came from Google.
So that's cool. Whatever. So it's like 50% roughly, isn't it?
Yeah. And then the rest of it is usually BNI and word of mouth and things like that. So yeah, that's cool. Been working.
So then at one point you guys went from whatever that location. Then there's a location that a few years ago I met you guys at, and I know you recently moved from. So was the location? So
the location that you came to was our 750 square feet.
Okay, was it like a shared office?
Exactly. Yeah. So there was a tech
so you could still breathe because there's multiple companies there.
Yes, but we had very little room out of that whole building.
Yes.
So it was a CPA and a tech company in there. And then it was just it was time for us to go. So we hunted and hunted and hunted and hunted for a place to call home, because everybody and their brother wants 2,500 square feet in a bay. That's
is that what you guys needed?
Yeah, but everybody wants that. So it was really difficult to find that. But we really wanted the bay because wraps were going to be the thing we really wanted to start pushing.
Wow, you're pushing wraps.
Oh yeah, we are.
Just a one-to-one. It's not like we're saying this is out on Thursday morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So one of our best friends is Colin Rogers with Allen and Rogers AC.
Okay.
They're in Profit Makers with my dad. And he's in this little strip plaza. And he was like, "Hey, our neighbors just left. They haven't even listed the place. Do you want me to get you the number?"
That's the only way to get exactly what you want.
And we were like, yes, please do that. And so we called, and it was like done.
Yeah.
And then we've just moved into that spot. I say just moved in. It's almost been a year. It was last Christmas.
Right.
And now we have 2 employees, which is like crazy. And that's been like the weirdest thing.
Was it always just you and Darth Vader the whole time, except for now you have 2 separate employees without the Harlow last name?
Yeah. Yep. So my mom worked with
Harlow
us for a little bit.
So it's actually Darth Harlow Vader,
Yeah,
but
Darth
nobody
Harlow
says
Vader.
it.
No, our mom, my mom worked there for like 5 whole seconds. And then, and it's like, you can work with some family and then other family, it's just, you can't at all.
It's good to know that.
It was, it was awkward.
Yeah.
So that didn't last very long.
Nothing against either one of you guys. It's just the way it works.
Yeah, no. Well, it was weird because it was like, she's my mom, but I was like her boss.
Right.
And that was just like so uncomfortable for me and for her. And so it was just like everybody was like miserable and not having a good time.
So growing up, was your mom like, were you grounded a lot growing up? Did you get in trouble and stuff?
No. I'm a super goody two shoes.
Okay.
Like rule follower.
Oh, how's it? Okay, so I'll tell you this. I was the youngest of 6 children.
Dear God.
Yeah. So I was the youngest boy, and I was from my mom's 3rd husband, right?
Okay.
And my mom and dad are still together. So my mom and my dad worked all the time, but my mom, she was kind of like a friend.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Like, she would ground me, but I could easily talk her out of like, Mom, an hour? I don't want to be in my room for an hour. She's like, okay.
Okay,
and that's
whatever.
it. Yeah. And so, like, I had some pros and cons to this. A little bit of I wasn't really reprimanded, and I didn't really have to do a lot when I was a kid. But also, whenever I did get in trouble, like, whenever I did do something really stupid, I could go to my mom and be like, Mom, I did something really dumb. And she'll like, talk to me about it. So, like, there's kind of like this friend-parent vibe.
Yeah.
I feel like I could boss my mom around because I had that relationship growing up, which I've had to apologize to her before because I'm like, Mom, I was a jerk to you when I was a kid.
My dynamic's not like that really with either one of them.
It seems like it.
Significantly more unhealthy.
Okay. Mine's more unhealthy.
No, mine is more unhealthy.
Mine's very unhealthy, and my mom should not be a friend. She's going to hear this, and she's going to be like, what do you mean? I'm a bad mom. That's not what I'm saying, Mom. I'm just saying, I get it. I'm the youngest of 6. Do I need to explain myself?
I'm my mom's oldest, but I'm my dad's middle. So I got like the worst traits of being eldest daughter and middle daughter. It's like all the bad things you get from being those things I got, and didn't really get any of the positives. So I'm like super people pleaser, but like very quiet, and I will not like.
Oh no, you just get taken advantage of.
Yeah, kind of.
Did I call that out? Was I right? I have a copay.
Pretty much. I'm not going to show my mom or others, so it's like whatever. We can really get into it. No, like my mom's not like super maternal.
Okay.
So that was like very difficult for me as a child, and now like as an adult, I'm like trying to remember that she's also a human being who was like also a little girl once. Right.
Right.
And like when she was younger than me when she had me. And that's like also crazy to think about, where it's like, okay, she like had hopes and dreams and aspirations, and then I came in and crushed them.
What?
So,
that's not how kids work.
Like
have an assistant on camera.
I know, right?
And he's amazing.
He's really doing a good job here. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So really, my mom and I haven't gotten along until like now into adulthood. Really, after she stopped working for us, I was like, okay, now that we're like 2 grown up people. Let's maybe start to be friends. And then my dad, I'm like kind of emotionally his wife.
That's cool.
So it makes it really interesting to work with him. Like, we work really well because we're very, very, very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is like the only reason why it's able to work at all, is because we're both like, you wouldn't know this about me, but I'm very angry. I'm kind of like the Hulk, where it's like I'm always angry, like all the time.
Like, that's your secret?
Like no, literally that's my secret.
Like, cool,
no, I'm not. I'm I
will
will split in a second, and he does the exact same thing. So it's like we know when the other person is doing that, and it's like, okay, just ignore it. Do your work. Like, move on. With my mom, it was like, why are you upset? Why are you mad at me? And it's like, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad because everything else in my life is like crazy and you're not helping me. And so that was why, like, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
Doing the family business situation.
I would hire my brother to help like video work and stuff like that. Like I know the wedding that the Star Wars wedding that whatever, like he was the video guy for that and stuff like that. So like I can work with him. There's other people in my family that I couldn't work with, you know, it's too like, but it's like a chemistry thing and it's like a vibe, you know what I mean? So
you have to have like your dysfunction has to match for it to work.
Yeah.
For sure.
I realized about myself recently, I have been learning to, we'll get more into business stuff, guys. Just give it a second. But now this is turning into a counseling session.
Yeah.
I've been accepting recently other people's emotions.
Yeah.
Out and like letting them do their thing. Because I'm normally a positive, happy person. But the thing is, I will also put the mask on of always being a positive, happy person. So people don't actually see me being whatever, sad or down or anything like that. I'm like, whatever. So they're like, Brett, you're just always happy. I'm like, I always show the same, the same thing because I don't want you to know about me. You know what I mean? And this is a defense mechanism and all these kind of things. But I grew up with a brother who had really bad anger issues. Like it was really, really bad. To where you would just be, you know, he's throwing stuff and, you know, and things being thrown around and things like that. And you're just like, everything's awkward and weird and like.
Yeah, I'm very familiar.
And you're just like, oh my gosh, like it ruins everything. You're like now, like, but then you put it towards yourself. Like, oh, I can't even say or do anything because I don't want to make him more mad and all these things like that. But I have just been able to recently go like, hey, that's how what somebody wants to be like, that's fine. But whenever you express it to where now it's like towards me, like I know the thing you're mad at has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But now it's like if you're because I have to be on eggshells because of you, it's like now I gotta have a conversation.
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, you need to chill the fuck out. Like because now like it's cool, you can do your own anger thing, bro. That's great. But like now it's like you're now ruining this for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and so I used to not say anything and just like cowered away, you know, but then it's like, don't be so selfish, dude. Like,
being on the opposite end of it, being the angry person who will scream and cuss and throw shit and like totally throw a fit. It's like, you're very conscious of it when it's happening. Yeah. It's like, I know that I'm like absolutely acting obnoxious, but it's like if I don't get it out, like I'll combust. And the whole time, like there's like a little me in my brain that's like, you idiot, shut the fuck up. Why are you doing that? But it's like the rage monster is like and it's like, I can't do anything about it.
That's going to be the YouTube short. I'm going to put out just that one thing. You idiot, shut the fuck up. And then that's it.
And so then it's like I have to do this little parade afterwards of like, hey, I'm really sorry that I said those things. It has nothing to do with you. You're perfect and amazing, and I'm just a terrible person.
What movie is? I feel like there's a few movies that do the like the small tiny little girl, but she has like a demon beast inside of her that can be released. Like, why is she a part of the superhero team?
Yeah,
because she can explode at any point. You know, what movie am I thinking of?
It's not a little girl, but The Incredibles does that. The baby.
Well, the baby does that because
like,
he could turn into all
like
different.
A monster
he could be like a beast
and sets on fire.
JoJo Bizarre Adventure as well.
Is
the anime?
Is that like an anime? Yes, and also there is also another one. I do feel like it doesn't matter.
Not anymore.
Bop.
Taking too long.
Yeah. Did you just call me out like hey, too long?
You're taking too long.
It's
time to move on.
Let's move on. Keep going. Okay. Thanks. Hey, I'm just very passive right now, and you just want the show. Like we're gonna flip mics.
Actually, I'm taking over. It's mine now. This is where I'm gonna trauma dump for an hour.
That's what the last 5 episodes have been. I'm just basically trauma dumping. I just want to talk to my friends about just my traumas. Like, I stopped counseling, and I'm like, I need to talk to people. If I put cameras up and give an excuse, maybe people just show up. It works. You're here.
I could sense that that's what it was, and I was like, I'm in all the time.
Thanks. Oh, man. Gosh, I'm going to be able to sleep tonight, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So one of the things I wanted to know, all right, going back to business. As you are roughly growing and I'm going to say success and succeeding as you are. What are some routines and like systems and things like that you had to put in place to like actually get stuff done?
Okay, so that's actually, and this is why I always think it's like the way people perceive us always surprises me, where it's like somebody was like, you're so detail oriented and you guys are so successful and blah, blah. And it's like, to us, it's like fucking chaos in that office. We like just recently, and when I say recently, I mean within the past month, have started working on systems and setting up things to make us more organized, because it was just nightmarish. Like it was just, for a long time, for the last 5 years, it's been my dad and I have these little notepads, and we would write down all of the information that someone told us. And then we would just keep that stack of notes on our desk and rifle through them every morning and figure out what needed to be done for that day.
What can we do today?
Exactly.
Yes.
But like most of the time, it's like we were so busy that we couldn't even talk about what work the other person had. And we both like had a jumble of things. There was no separation of like what we were working on. It was like we both were just doing everything all the time, all at once. And it was like, hey, this isn't working. I want to die, and so do you. So clearly we need to like take a step back.
The image I get is like Dr. Octopus from the second Spider-Man movie, where he has the thing to control the sun flares, right? Like chaos is happening and you're just trying to control.
Yeah, that was it.
Control
it was lots of like bathroom breaks to go cry and like come back and do my work. Like it was a lot, because like it's so quickly we got so much more work than we were used to, and it was still just the two of us.
Right.
So then we hired a part-time. She hates to be called an office manager, but it's what she is.
Office to the regional manager?
Basically, yeah. So that has helped a lot, just to keep people the fuck away from us.
How recent has that been?
So she's actually been there almost a year.
Okay.
But she is like everything to me. Because my main thing is just like, I can't get any work done if people are calling and coming in and wanting to, have me stop what I'm doing and talk to them for an hour. Like I can't do that. And so I was like, she's like I call her my bulldog. She just keeps every single person away from me. She asks me every morning, are you available for people today? Absolutely not. I am never available for anyone ever. Okay.
Hold on. If nobody's going to be watching this, how often have you taken advantage of that?
Oh my God. Like at least once a week.
You're like a parent
more.
that likes to say no.
Yeah.
Like I start with no first.
Basically. No, and then like if she comes back and she's like, hey, I really can't, I don't know how to take care of this.
You're
I'm
like,
like,
"All
no
right,
problem. Let me come up and I put on my like, hey, how can I help you? Like, and it's cool. But the majority of the time I'm like, if you can keep them away, please. Because I can't get anything done if I'm having to get up every, 10,
Are you guys
15
looking
minutes.
to expand and hire more?
We had more. So we actually had 3.
Yeah.
Employees have been the hardest thing. Like
What?
by
That's
far,
crazy.
they've been the hardest thing. Not getting them, just like having new people join the dynamic is like, okay, well now we like have to hide our unhealthy like traits.
Wait, I'm thinking like, oh no, new people are going to come in, like they're not going to work out, they're lazy, did all these things.
No,
and
no,
you're
no.
like, no.
It's like
I don't
us.
want to show them our chaos
That like
happens.
we're like the problem, like 100%. Because it's like a father-daughter thing. So like we snap at each other and we're mean to each other, and it's like, get your fucking work done, go fuck yourself. Like we're awful. Like we just scream.
What's the show? Was it Orange County Choppers from the early 2000s? Do you remember?
No.
Yes. It's like the father-son. I mean, they wound up splitting, and like the show would keep going on, but then they showed like it was 2 separate shops at one point, and like they would just like, and they would just go crazy.
Yeah.
Are you gonna leave your dad? Do you guys yell at each other that much?
Like we did a lot. We definitely did quite a bit, and it's calmed down because now we like,
okay,
obviously I'm not gonna do that in front of like an employee,
right?
And then we got a work management system.
Okay.
And so that's helped a lot. No more notepads. It's all on the computer, and it all has the notes, and everybody shares it. I still use it
helps
for
me because
like
I can
some
quickly jot it
things.
down and just plaster it somewhere.
And then so I'll use it to take down my initial notes, and then I'll put it into the computer, and I do hold on to it until the job is done, and then I throw away my piece of paper.
So
So like it's kind of a quasi thing, but it helps a lot when like anybody in the office can go look at our work system and go like, oh, here's where your order is. It's in production or it's in design or it's done. You just have to come get it. And that's helped quite a bit. And then we have a helper. His name is Daniel, and he's so awesome. Like he has a lot of initiative. He has no print experience like whatsoever, which is kind of fine because I would rather train you the way I want.
Huge. I would rather you take initiative, make mistakes, than like.
He's not afraid to ask me. He's not afraid to ask me a question. So like he'll come in and he'll be like, "Is this what I think this is?" And I'm like, "Yeah, oh my God, you're right." And then he goes and he just does it. And I just have to show him one time, and then he like never asks again. And this is like such a silly thing, but when you own a business and you've had employees who like kind of suck, he takes out the trash without me asking, like every day. And the other day he swept the entire place. And when I say swept, I mean he was moving furniture and like getting behind stuff and sweeping. And I was like,
"How old is this kid?"
He's like 36.
Okay. Is he married already?
Yeah, married with a kid.
Oh. So was it beaten into him, or was he actually more the clean one because his wife's so messy?
I don't know the full dynamic, but we did talk about this a little bit, and he is the clean one.
Okay.
Because they live with their in-laws, and he's like, "My in-laws are so messy and it drives me crazy." And like when he was sweeping and getting behind stuff, I made a joke about like, "Oh, look at you like moving the furniture to get the dirt." And he was like, "It's how you sweep." And I was like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. That is how you sweep. Like I definitely don't just sweep around things. Like no, I move stuff for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's a keeper, and he's going to be better than all of us.
Oh no, 100%.
Yeah, and that's
100%.
okay. Yeah. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. Okay, so the thing is, you can't define somebody like that is very rare.
Oh yeah,
that's
absolutely.
People that take an initiative and to do things like that. Like normally, it's like.
Yeah, no, it's usually taking. We had one that was, took advantage of just like you'd give him an inch, he'd take a mile.
Yeah,
and that was rough, and it's like awkward because it's like you're relying on me for your livelihood, but you're like kind of not.
You suck.
Good. I don't like you and I don't want you here. And it's just like, what do I do now? I feel like I'm stuck with you forever.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
So what's beneficial in my line of work is I have a thing of if I get busy and I need to hire people, I'm just hiring contractors. I will charge more maybe for the client for the fact that I'm hiring contract, but mine's like one-off jobs. Yeah. Right? And mine's not a continual
We
thing.
did that for a while.
Yeah.
Where we were just getting contractors to come install the vehicle wraps because my dad went to wrap school so that we could start to do them ourselves, but it's
does he rhyme a lot, or is it like slam poetry or mama or Darth Vader jokes?
I don't want to hurt your feelings, but every single person makes that joke when I say he went to rap school.
I hate what you just said. I legit.
I'm so sorry.
Nope, it's fine. It just hurts me so much.
I just don't know what to say to it.
I just improv the idea of a stereotypical worse than dad joke, and the pain going through me of being a stereotypical person hurts so much right now.
So sorry. I just yeah.
Well, fine.
So I guess we're done.
No, it's fine. I needed that because sometimes you just need. I need a reset. I needed a reset because normally the jokes I would make towards people aren't stereotypical because I would see them a mile away.
Yeah.
And this is just one of those resets where you're like, hey, it's been 72 days since you made a mistake in the factory. You know what I mean? And that's just what I got going on right now.
Add the tally to the
all right, cross that out.
Day since making a bad joke.
Day one. Bad stereotypical joke is up there. All right, starting today.
That'd be a good addition for the podcast.
Yes, the podcast. Add that back there. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So anyways, he went to rap school.
Okay.
But we don't have the time for the two of us to be doing the raps ourselves. So we were getting contractors to come and do it, but we were starting to get quite a few of them.
Right.
And so we hired someone to do it.
Which
and
would
then
make
we hired
sense,
a
right? You're going to
helper.
pay a little more for a contractor or pay whatever, a lot more, whatever the rate
Yeah.
is. But then if you get a lot, then it's like, all right, can I pull somebody in and put them on a salary?
Yeah. But the thing that we're noticing with the wraps is it's like we'll be busy with them, and then like we won't get any for like a month.
And then you just have a
2
guy
months.
just
and
like...
now I just have like a full-time employee that I'm paying like a lot of money for to kind of just sit there and twiddle his thumbs.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit, that was a learning experience.
So
but
over like a year, did you like kind of keep track of something? Because if you think like, yeah, maybe you had a really busy season, but then
Yeah.
over a year, like you wound up, I don't know, if that guy was there as a contractor and you contracted him for the year for those jobs, would you have been paying him more or less? Or right
well,
on
that
the
guy's
same?
gone now.
Yeah,
so,
but even
so we have
even
our
for the
nice little
future.
helper. Yeah. And the way we have like Daniel set up now is where he's like just helping with everything. And then when a wrap comes in, he only has to do the wraps. And he doesn't
Got
have
it.
to do any of the other
Is
tasks.
that the sweeping kid?
Yes. So
This kid's magical.
that's
It's
working
a
out.
unicorn.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like when he has something to do, he helps me.
Yeah.
And then when my dad has something for him to do, he helps my dad. And
Right.
that's just how that works. Because we also decided to split up the workload.
Okay.
So my dad handles any wide format stuff, which is going to be the banners and the posters and the vehicle wraps and stickers
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. And then I handle all of the digital printing. So business cards, flyers, postcards, trifolds, whatever the heck. And that has helped a ton because now it's like we just have our little divisions that we focus on, and the workload isn't quite so like
Yeah.
astronomically
I feel
high.
like this Daniel kid, like you got to watch out. Like the government could come after him. He could get, cut open, figure out what makes him tick. How did he become who he became?
Yeah, and he picks up everything so fast. But the thing is, like, he's kind of insecure. So he's
even
like,
better. You
he's
can take
like,
advantage of his emotions.
he's like,
put
I
him
don't-
down
No.
like once a week just to keep him in his place.
no, I have to give him like a weekly pep talk because he's like, I just don't think
I'm joking, by the way.
He's like, I just don't think I'm doing a good job. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm messing everything up. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, buddy, you are.
I'm
You
like,
are.
no, sweet baby angel. You can do nothing wrong.
Need more from you.
Yeah, no.
More.
No, he's like, every week I'm like, no, bro, you don't understand. Like, what you're taking off my plate is like so valuable. Because he is like a super perfectionist. I mean, clearly he moves fucking furniture around to sleep.
Who does that?
And the print industry is like extremely wasteful. Like extremely wasteful. You throw away probably a quarter of what you do just goes in the trash.
Yeah.
Like whether the printer messed it up or you have to reprint something or whatever, you cut it wrong, you throw it away. There's just nothing you can do about it,
Yeah.
And he struggled with that a lot at first. He was like, I just keep messing up and I have to throw this stuff away and then you reprint it. And I'm like, nah, dude, it's worked into the markup that we're gonna throw it away
Right.
once.
Yes.
Like that, like the
Yeah.
print, like the markup for print is way higher than any other retail item. And it's because you throw so much stuff
Right.
away.
Right.
And that was really hard for him to wrap his head around. But he's getting there now. He's more confident. He's laughing. He's chatting. So
Yeah.
I take that as a good sign.
Do you guys do drug tests?
No. We're very pro weed office, actually.
Nice.
It's a pro drug office.
Nice. Just be like, hey, Daniel, try some of these brownies.
Yeah, no.
Hey, buddy, relax.
We keep a...
This is the best job ever. I feel amazing going to work. Why am I looking forward to work all of a
basically,
sudden?
yeah.
There might be something to that.
Well, like
Am I onto something? Like,
No, you do. It helps a lot. Like Daniel and my dad both have their green card.
okay.
And so they like compare
I love
like
the change
strains
with the podcast,
and
man.
shit.
Right.
And I just sit there, whatever, and like when I'm stressed, I'm like, hey dad, you got anything in the cabinet? And he's like, I sure do. And I'm like, okay, I'll be right back. And then we're all good. It does. It helps with the office morale for sure.
Don't forget the ping pong table that you want to put in the
Yeah.
break room. That
No.
doesn't do anything.
Just
just a couple edibles.
yeah.
Whatever.
You're fine. So
I got it, man. Yep. Does work ever feel like work ever kind of slow? Like, is sacrificed because of that?
no.
I mean, it's creative work. It might
Yeah.
even be better. I mean, have you thought?
Well, it's
about
like,
that?
it's kind of, I don't know. It's creative, but it's there's a lot of like stress because most people wait until the very last minute to order their item. So it's always like, I need this right now. And it's like, yeah, you and everybody else who came in here today, like, oh my God, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
So it's like my brain starts moving like a million miles a minute of like, okay, I have to design this. So I'm like designing something in my head before I start to do it. But then I'm thinking of like, well, I need to get these 4 things done like before the end of the day. And I have to like make sure, because Daniel leaves a little bit early. So I need to get it done before Daniel leaves so he can trim it and finish it and get it packaged up. And so it's like, my brain's like all the time.
Do you have a timeline for, so when somebody comes in and they say, hey, they need something, do you have like a base timeline of like, all right, based off of what you're telling me, that's 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
No matter
so
what, or that's a week.
We say like standard turnaround time for in-house items is 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
If it's something I have to order out, so you're ordering something specialty or you're ordering a large volume, then it's a week or 2 weeks, depending on what it is. Yeah. And then we do offer same day, like rush, where we'll pump it out just as fast as we can, but you're paying, 40% more. That is new.
Okay.
That is not something we did.
But you were always doing same day stuff.
We were doing same day stuff.
And now you're just actually getting properly paid for it.
Because we were such like people pleasers and we just wanted everybody to like us so that they would do business with us. We would just like drop whatever we were doing and do stuff. And it was just getting so overwhelming. And so when we moved into this new location, we changed 2 things. The first one was no more rush for free.
Right.
You're going to pay to jump the line. And the other thing was paying up when you pick up. Because we were just letting people take their product and, we would just email you an invoice and it was no big deal.
Yeah,
and for most people,
that was fine.
They paid their bill.
Yeah.
But you, of course, have like the few rotten eggs that were like,
you ruined it for
I'm
everybody.
never paying this bill ever. And so that we changed that to where you don't get to take it until you pay for it.
Right.
And we're talking about switching where you have to pay up front. Because it's like still kind of becoming an issue of like people not wanting to pay.
And you already did the work.
And it's like I already did it. So it's just sitting on, they don't ever pick it up. So it just sits on my counter. There's something that's been on my counter for a year.
Oh my gosh.
They just never came and got it and never paid their bill. And so it's like there's nothing I can do with that but throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
So we're still working out the kinks on that because there's just like,
that's hard.
Yeah.
Me as a real estate photographer, every realtor kind of is different. For the most part, it's I shoot the house, I send the photos with an invoice.
Yeah.
Within a little bit, I get paid, maybe that day, sometimes right away. If it's a few days, I go, hey, I sent you an invoice a few days ago. Did you see that? It's just me being nice, saying like, yo, I know you saw it.
Yeah.
Pay my bit, pay it.
Oh, yeah. We have it where it says if you viewed it or like how many times you looked at it.
But I'll be nice and, whatever, send that. But I don't, normally that is a mistake. Like they're like, oh, I just never got around to it, and legit, like I've the people I know that have done it. So I have some realtors that as soon as I'm done, they're like, what is it? And they write me a check and a check's right there. Sometimes, because it's relatively reliable, because I go in, I do the job, do whatever, get it back to them in the 24 hours. If they can't be there, they'll already have a check written. How much is going to be, then it's already there.
Yeah.
Every so often, I will have like somebody I have to kind of be on to, but normally it means it was a bigger job or something like that, and it's a little bit more. But how much I charge is like, it's not a lot, and I go and I knock it out for them. You know what I mean? It's $200 as my base price for real estate photography.
Yeah.
So like, it's not a big thing. So I'm guessing some of your situations, is it with small items or is it with big items?
Small.
Really? Like $50, $100, $200 things? Like there's like, I'm not paying that?
There was somebody that their bill was $14 and we tracked them down for a year trying to get them to pay their bill.
What?
Finally, we sent it to the collections.
And you made 10.
And yep. It's always like the business cards and shit that they don't pick up.
I would have to think that was just like out of sight, out of mind, not remembering. It's not like they don't have the $14.
We like harass them about it. Like at a certain, we'll let it go for 30 days. And then after 30 days, we, hey, just making sure you didn't forget about this. Here's this bill. Like we're really lax about it.
Right.
But then like after the 30-day mark, like you're getting a phone call and an email once a week.
Yeah.
And then at the 60-day mark, we send you to collections at that point because it's like, okay, we tried for another month to not send you to collections and to like just, be cool, and you're not being cool. So then we send it off. And actually, I think it's really interesting that you work with realtors, and realtors are the ones who are the worst for us about paying their bill.
Are they?
Yeah, absolutely 100%. Every issue we've ever had has been a realtor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've had
A lot of the realtors we do make pay up front.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, because it's like,
No, yeah, that's fine.
I don't trust you.
Well,
I don't trust you at all.
But
But it's also different what we do.
it is different.
They like really need you to like do your service.
That's
so.
true. And also, they're already making the money. They
Yeah.
have the contract to put the house on the market, so the money is coming in. And a lot of times,
Yes.
part of their percentage of what they're even is marketing.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why they get the homeowner to go with them is because they're like, hey, I'm going to get a professional photographer. Then like, okay, so it's kind of, there's already like money allocated towards paying me compared to a realtor for you would be, hey, I'm just starting, or hey, I'm changing things up, and they don't have, it's their money that's allocated, which it is roughly the same thing, but I could see why there could be a difference for them. But that's crazy. $10. I would just, if that was me, I would just think it would have to be just like a slip of the mind. Like I just didn't even, I forgot. I kept forgetting. And then I was like, I'm going to do that. And I never ended up getting to it. But then at one point it would just be like, okay, whatever's, this nice person is now yelling at me. I'm like, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and then fix this because I don't like people being mad at me.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. It always baffles me because it's like, I can't imagine not paying my bill. Like that's so... I don't know, especially for something so little, and it's always the things like business cards or, they order just a few of something, which we changed that too. We now have like minimum quantities, minimum orders, and that's helped a bit kind of get some of them away from us.
What is your, you guys 9 to 5?
Yeah.
Is that you guys are open 9 to 5?
Yeah, we're open 9 to 5. We get there earlier and stay later. But because I do better work if it's silent.
So is that in the morning or afterwards?
Yeah. So I like working in the morning.
Yeah.
My dad likes working in the evening.
Okay.
So I'll get there at like 8:00, and I just get a bunch of stuff done. I like keep the lights low. I like put my headphones in, and then I open the shop like right at 9.
Okay.
So that I have like an hour to just kind of get organized and get some especially design. Like if I'm doing something really heavy on design, which doesn't happen that often lately, to be honest.
Right.
Or if I have like a logo that I need to do, I want to get that done in the morning when there's nobody there so that I can like really get in the zone of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But he likes the evenings because I don't know. He just likes to sleep in, I guess. But I'm an early bird.
Does he come in late?
So yeah, like every day.
Nice. Good for him. It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
He runs the place.
He's usually strolling in like 10 or 11.
Listen, he was partying the night before.
Yep.
He's coming in with glasses
Partying, vegged on the couch.
Whatever. Let him do. He's Darth Vader.
It's fine. He's like 50, so that's a party.
Do you run the Death Star?
No, I don't.
Death Star's
I
down,
don't.
actually. It's not.
I only half run it, so what do I know? Yeah.
Fell. So routine coming in 8 to 5, whatever. That's 8 to 6, whatever. Now, do you normally leave right at 5 because you come in that 1 hour early?
Yeah.
Okay, and then he's there a little bit later.
Yes.
If he wants to be. Okay. All right, that's cool.
But the door is locked at that point, so it's like don't show up.
Yeah. Have you do you what? I'm trying to think. It's funny, you have a lot of the similar mentalities of me.
Yeah.
But yeah. which is like kind of like, oh, that's good. But if you ever listen to a lot of these like other like YouTube podcasts and all these kind of things of like business people, they're like, you got to get out there 5:30 in the morning, have the cold shower. If you don't have a cold shower, you're trash.
Yep.
Work out, and then when you get to work, you just hit it hard and you hustle. And it's like, that's exhausting.
I also just think that's wrong. Like I just disagree with that on like every level, because the one thing that I've really learned from this is to set boundaries and have a life outside of the business, because it's like, yeah, I don't ever truly turn it off. Like I'm always thinking about it.
Right.
But it was getting to the point where it's like it was ruining my relationship and it was ruining my mental health. And it was literally all I did was work. And it was even worse for my dad because for him, it's like, this is like his legacy, you know, and he wants something to leave me. Like when he dies, he's always thinking about when he dies. He's having like a midlife crisis right now.
Yo, I think about it too.
Yeah. So he's always like, I have to have something successful to leave you because like we were poor, you know, and I mean, we are poor because you're never like rich owning a business in the first like 10 years of it.
Sure.
So it's like, he just wants something for me to have. And I was like, I would rather have a healthy, happy relationship with you while you're alive.
Right.
Than have this business when you're dead.
Yeah.
And so that was like a big thing that we've been talking about is like,
that's cool.
We don't need to be spending all of our time and energy on this. Obviously, you know, you need to be pushing it and you do need to be going to networking and you do need to be, you know, doing advertising and getting your work done. But like prioritize your health and happiness. Like,
yeah,
because that's always more important than this print shop. It just is. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry. So it's been putting my phone on do not disturb at 6:30. I cut it off. No more.
Do you have like a work phone and your phone, or it's just everything goes to your specific number?
When we first
That's weird.
when
You
we
should stop
first
doing
started,
that.
like we just gave out our cell to everybody.
Okay.
So I did recently change my number, which like cut a lot of people out.
Good.
And then yeah. And then I did the do not disturb, where just like after 6:30 I don't get any texts or calls unless you're like my immediate family.
Yeah.
And I've also kind of sort of started taking Thursdays off a little bit after BNI. Have a couple meetings and then I just schedule all my personal appointments for that day.
Pretty cool.
So that I can get out for a little bit, because it was kind of like, I'm going to have this like half a day off, or I'm going to like burn this place to the fucking ground. Which would you prefer?
Are you an introvert or extrovert?
I'm an introvert, 100%.
Are you like introvert like 100%? 100%?
Like I hate going outside of my home. Like I hate it. But I don't like talking to people at all. Like,
well, yeah, but you do, and you're not like uncomfortable or like it doesn't even seem like whenever you are around a lot of people, like you, I don't know, I could definitely tell there's something going on underneath.
Yeah,
but it doesn't seem like you're not yourself so much.
That's because I have practiced a lot.
The mask is very thick.
It's extremely like I still get very nervous, like all the time. My anxiety's through the roof. At BNI every single week, right after I do my 30 seconds, if you watch my hands, they're fucking trembling. Like I'm like shaking.
I'm the opposite.
I'm sweating.
Mine actually finally released.
No.
I relax.
I'm like sweating. I'm hot. I turn red really fast. Like my chest is honestly probably splotchy from doing this, because I'm just like
doing this here.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know I seem like I'm like cool or whatever, but no, not at all. Like
underneath that brain, everything's going crazy.
Yeah, my brain's like, oh my god. So no, I'm like not. It's just I've practiced a lot.
Yeah.
Of just like being cool, and also like I don't know. I joke about this a lot, where it's like there's Julie, which is like me, and then there's Julianna, which is like my business persona. So it's like when I go to a networking event,
you literally have to be a character.
It's like Julianna is a totally different person, because nobody in my personal life calls me Julianna ever at all.
Right.
But that's always how I introduce myself.
Yeah.
At a networking event or at the office. It's what I have on my business card. Like I am a different human entirely.
You leave the networking group and you just like act like you wake up like, oh my gosh, just blacked out for an hour and a half. Like what just happened?
And I will, unless we're on like a one-on-one thing and I know that like we get along already, I will not tell you a single thing about me.
You've opened up. I'm going to take this as somewhat of a compliment, because you've opened up a little bit.
It is. And I'm trying to be a little bit better about like not hiding every aspect of my personality with people.
We're all crazy, if that helps. If people that show that they're not crazy, I don't trust them.
That's totally it. I know everyone is crazy, but it's like, you know, when it's me, it's different. I don't want people to know anything about me.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this. So I have been, I looked at a few different churches to go to, and in the places where I've came from, kind of, some were kind of good, but they always had like the pastor would kind of have like this like charismatic persona. Somewhat,
Yeah.
they would put some.
I feel like you kind of have to have that job, don't you think?
So no, not at all.
Really?
Which you would think.
Yeah.
So the church that I go to, the pastor's an asshole. He is an introvert. He says he doesn't like people.
Yeah.
He gets up there, and it's very much like a good. I don't want to say like it's like he's just talking, kind of matter of fact. Like, yeah, this is what we're thinking here, and here, and then let's talk about this scripture here. And I think we have this going on here and whatever. But it's very, I don't want to say dry because it's him. Like, and if you have a conversation with him, it's the same person. Mm-hmm. And I like that because, like, I don't. Like, I already just think like people put on a character and like you're already kind of messing things up by putting on. Like I get it. Some people love the emotions and the show. I'm like, yeah, but I came from like number 7 in the United States of churches to where I'm like, you're not gonna do anything that like. It's not the churches that's going to impress me. Like I'm here to get a message, and get taught. And I want to know that it's real, not coming from some, person that has a bunch of skeletons in their closet.
Yeah.
And so it's great. Like I actually don't even really get along with him, which is super good. I love it.
He's like, that's perfect.
Perfect
I want to hate you, actually.
I love it. I surprisingly love it. It was months after I didn't talk or say anything to him. I'm like, hey, did it? I said something to him, and then he said some smart ass remark or something like that, and I was like, that's right. That's why I don't like you. That's why I don't talk to you. I love this. This is great. I've never had a church like this. This is amazing.
Oh my god!
Compared to just the guy like, oh, what's up, buddy? And then like they're and I mean that's okay, but anyways, so I don't know. I actually gravitate, even though I am an extrovert. Mm-hmm. I don't gravitate towards like other outwardly extroverted people. I don't know if I come across as like an outwardly extroverted person.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, like, you're definitely approachable, but I don't think I would have used extrovert to describe you. Maybe like, isn't there like a middle one, like ambivert or something?
I don't know.
That's like in the middle.
Really tapping into the middle ground far more often, where it's like I've been appreciating my alone time. I've been appreciating not being around people, and then every once in a while I'm like, all right, what's my friend doing? I want to kind of get out. I got to get out and go do something.
Yeah, no, I do not feel recharged by people at all.
Yeah.
It is a drain on my battery, and my bed is the only thing that fixes me. So it's I get done with something, and I'm like, please go let me take a nap. Please, God.
So right after this, you're like,
I'm going home and I am crashing. I'm crashing.
It actually makes me like, oh man, she came and did this anyways. That's nice.
Oh no, and before I go do anything, I'm like, what if I just didn't get out of bed? What if I just didn't go? What if I just canceled right now? I was doing it right before we came here. I was like, I could just go to sleep. Right now, I could just go to sleep. I could just say, oh man, something came up, so sorry.
I mean.
And then I was like, no. Because I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm like challenging myself, but I am trying to say yes to more things.
Right.
Because I do realize that like I don't go and do anything. And like I just work and go home. And so I'm trying to like spread out a little bit, go try new things. Nothing's going to kill me. Okay.
So that's the thing. So I have a friend that is very much an introvert, and he does that exact thing where he tries to, I got to get out, got to do things. But the thing is, he goes to the extreme of like, no, anybody that like, I have time. It's kind of like, this is really shitty for me, like not to go and do, so I'm going to go and do this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I get it. But like, you haven't been home for a week and a half, or like as soon as you're home, somebody else is coming over and you're doing more things and you're doing this, and like your schedule's full and you just feel like you have no time for anything. I'm like, hey, guess what? You need to learn the word no, because knowing you're overwhelming me and I like people, and how much you do, and knowing that he's like an introverted guy, I'm like, bro, you like this is for your family and yourself. To recharge yourself, you need to say no more, dude.
Yeah.
And so now whenever because he has like a workshop and he has things so sometimes I'll ask him for favors, but I first preface like, hey, are you cool with doing this? Mm-hmm. No is an okay answer. Yeah. I do not need you to do this, but this would help me out. And he's like, okay, no, thanks. And no, it should be fine. No, it'll be okay. And I'm like, I still kind of read into him like,
No,
I'm calling somebody
I'm
else,
saying
man.
no for you.
I'm saying
yeah.
no. Yeah. No. Yeah. So I've had to do that. But no, going into BNI, like I've been more comfortable recently whenever our 30 seconds and stuff like that comes up. But I used to get so nauseous.
Yeah.
I would get nauseous going in, and I remember, I think I told Zach West when he was here, but like, you know, as soon as I went in one time and I'm like super nauseous, I'm like, man, I don't even know what I'm going to say. And he's like, yeah, me either. And then he pulls out some limerick or something.
Fucking poem.
Right away. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? He's like, yeah, I just wrote it. It took me like 2 minutes. First off, you didn't have it ready. You just wrote it just now.
I fucking hate that guy. So like, I don't like people who are that talented.
No, like baffles me. I'm like, I cannot comprehend what you just said to me right now. I just, whatever. I have other strengths. I promise you, I have strengths. Just you would be better at all of them, I guess.
No, because he's so cool. His
cool
little bun and his poems and his
cool
sword and making and shit. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool guy.
Fun, cool hobbies.
Like, what's your fault? Like,
the fault is he is all good at all this, and I hate him. That's his fault.
That's his fault. It's because he's so good at everything. He's unlikable. No.
Right.
Zach, if you're watching this, I really like you, buddy. I'm sorry.
He knows I really like him too.
Well, I'm not like super buddies with him like you are. So
yeah, I mean, you know, I've had some.
I feel like I have to have the little like, you know, asterisk.
Right,
my little
right.
He's a
Yeah.
lawyer, so I feel like, you know, maybe there will be some
you
appreciation
said something
there
until you prove differently. This is true.
You know,
yeah.
like
yeah. He's coming after
no,
us.
I get very nervous. I get like, I sweat, my stomach drops. But the thing is though, I'm never prepared. It's like I'm so anxious and I think about it like the night before. I'm like up thinking about BNI.
I think about
and then I have
saying
to
something
go.
and I never wound up like preparing something.
No, and then I get there and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna say. And then I'm like doing the timer thing. So it's like I'm like not even really paying attention and my name's up and I'm like, well, I guess I'm talking about this today. And then I'll just pull some like random place or thing that I want because, you know, be specific to be terrific.
Yeah. I haven't followed that in a long time.
I know. I'm like, dude, just Google a realtor.
Right.
Just right before, just Google a realtor.
Are you saying that to me? Google a realtor?
I think it every week. I'm like, just Google one.
That's really funny. You're like, bro, be specific to me. Just
like,
Google
just
something.
Everyone, you don't have to do it every time. But if you did it once,
I did like
I think
twice.
everyone would be like, oh my God, did he just say an actual like name? Did he just say
I've done it. I've done like a few of the like buildings or the brokerages and things like that. But, and then sometimes I would get the information or something like that. But sometimes I'm just like, wait, I don't want to pull my phone out. And then, oh my gosh, I'm just not prepared. And then I just don't do anything. And then I just go up there like, yeah, I'm just going to keep showing up.
Yeah.
You know, people are kind of hiring me.
As long as you're there, that's all that matters.
It is. That's all that matters.
So real.
So hobbies.
Yeah.
Reptiles.
Yes.
Right. Anything else?
Anything spooky, anything horror, I'm there.
Yeah.
100% of the time.
Was there like a spooktacular thing or something here in Ocala?
Yeah, there's Spookala, which is like a horror convention. I went the first year and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I skipped out on the second year. And then they're doing 2 now, so there's gonna be like 1 in Ocala and 1 in Tampa. So I may go to the Tampa one. I don't know yet. The thing I've really been loving though is the monthly oddities market that they do downtown.
They do a monthly oddities market? What does that mean?
So it's bones and bugs and weird shit and
is that
weird
like 2
people.
booths or is that like a lot of booths?
No, it's like a lot. I went to the first one and I was shocked at how full it was. And then every single month it's like bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's like they take up that whole pavilion. Yeah. And then now it's like out into the grass and it's like spreading and there's food trucks and like just all kinds of like cool, weird shit. The last time I went, there was a guy who was walking around with a freaking crow on his shoulder. Like, and then if anyone did
it say like Rosebud?
No. Oh. But like if you went up and you were like, oh my God, your bird, he'd go, what bird? And like he did that bit like 6 times, so it was like less funny. But the first time I was like, oh my God, I love that. So it's really cool. You get all kinds of like weird. Is that like a
Saturday
stuff.
morning? Saturday morning?
They switch it because it's been hot as balls outside.
Right.
They've been having them in the evening, and then usually it's on either like Friday or Saturday. And I think occasionally they've had one on a Sunday, but the fall ones when it's like nice outside and not too hot.
Well, and also it's in the
like
air.
So much better.
The season kind of like it's in the air.
Exactly.
Like, we're like,
I mean, for me, it's all year round. Like I do all of my home shopping during this
When you say
time.
all year round, do you like carve out like a watermelon and do like a pumpkin and a watermelon or something?
I mean, I would. No one would be surprised if I did that at all.
I'm here to help.
But it's like from basically from like the end of July, after the 4th of July until Christmas is Halloween for me. And I just purchase all of my things and then I keep them up in my house all the time because I just like, I want my home to feel like a crypt with like my life's collection in it.
That sounds awesome. I don't know if I could live there.
Really, it's just like expensive and covered in junk.
Nice.
is the reality of it.
Yeah.
But it makes me happy. You know, like the junk lady from Labyrinth, who's like carries all of her stuff. Why are you scratching your head like that?
I haven't seen Labyrinth.
You haven't seen
I
Labyrinth?
haven't seen Labyrinth.
What the fuck?
I know. Did you see the shame that was on my face? Like, I know it's one of those things where it's like, you like Lord of the Rings and all these other
you
things.
like
and
literally
you haven't
everything else.
Seen David Bowie in Labyrinth. Right, he was in Labyrinth, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the tight pants. That was like my childhood sexual awakening.
I do like men.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Not mine. Not mine. I had other things that was my childhood awakening. It was Kathy Ireland. I think it was her.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Solid.
no, it wasn't. No, sorry. We're going to get back. No. Okay. I'm about to admit this. I'm about to admit this. I realized my first celebrity crush, I actually realized this a few weeks ago. I was like, it was a cartoon character.
Okay.
It was, and it wasn't. Was it Roger Rabbit's wife? Jessica,
Okay.
was it?
Okay.
It was Robin Hood. It was Mary Magdalene. I was like, there was the fox. I remember being in first grade. I was in first grade.
The very modest fox in Robin Hood.
I was like, it was something about the eyes. I was like, hey, she's pretty.
No.
She's really
No,
furry.
dude.
What's up with all the hair? I think she's gorgeous.
Disney like really draws their cartoon animals with like fuck me eyes. Like in Lion King, when like Nala and she's like
yeah, that
come
squint,
on,
and you're
come
like,
on.
I'm 8. Should I be watching this? Yeah, I'm gonna rewind and watch it again.
Jasmine, when she's like wearing her little red outfit with Jafar and slinking around, I was like,
Yes.
hello.
Yeah, they don't do that in Disney.
No.
She's covered up and modest now.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just got to ruin everything.
Yeah. Anyways, about, childhood crushes and animals, whatever. Get off my back. I said that to somebody recently. They're like, so like, what are you, like a furry or something? I was like, no, I'm not a furry. Just when I had my awakening.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
They draw them like humans, so.
They do draw them. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
Not at all. They did it on purpose, so.
I feel like you're giving me pity right now. I feel a little crazy still. It's not helping.
Sorry. I'm trying my best.
It's fine. It's fine. So the fox, Brett, right? Later on, somebody's going to come and be like, wow, Brett, the fox.
The fox.
I was in first grade. What do you want me to say? That's just, it wasn't me. I mean,
She was walking on 2 legs. She was wearing clothes. What the fuck was I supposed to know?
Yeah. She had a chastity belt. That's a good thing. I think she had a chastity belt. Nope,
I don't think they did that in the Disney one.
No, that was later.
Yeah.
That was the funny one.
Yeah, I can't think of who did it, but
Men in Tights. Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yes.
Yeah. That's funny. I wasn't then. There was like, oh man, I'm really into. What was her name? Mary?
No, I don't know.
Doesn't matter. I just looked at her face. She had no name to me.
She doesn't need a name.
She was just a body. That's all she was. She was just an object.
No.
It's so horrible. I'm glad you're laughing at that because it was a joke.
I usually can tell the difference.
Between jokes and something that's serious?
Yeah.
You've had some like
think
really
most
creepy
of the
people
time.
tell you certain things and you're like, you're being for real.
Yeah.
It was Maid Marian.
Maid Marian. I wasn't
Thank you,
far
assistant.
off. I'm glad you have a deeper voice because I think that actually might reach the microphones.
If not, it's just like we're talking to the wall.
Pretty much. Okay, so I mean, I'm pretty good. Is there anything else you want to talk about, like routine success? What has got you where you're at?
Just be nice. Just be nice to people and business will come, and respect yourself.
You don't even believe it.
Not at all. I don't know what the secret is. Just keep on trucking.
That's really funny. Okay, we're going to end it there. Bye.